Are you new to Monster Hunter and looking to get into Chargeblade? Maybe you're a veteran player and Chargeblade feels a bit different than it did in previous generations. Hey there gamers, my name is Kystrom and welcome to a Monster Hunter Rise guide to Chargeblade. Before we head in, I just want to let you know I do stream on Twitch 4 days a week, playing variety games such as Monster Hunter Rise, as well as a few other titles. If you're looking for that channel and want to see some of those highlights, a bit of the background footage from this video is going to be directly pulled from that stream, and I'll put the link to that channel down below in the description. Without further ado guys, let's hop straight into the video. First up, by pressing the X button 3 times, you'll be taken into a 3-hit combo that ends with a spinning slash. More on that later. Inputting a direction while using this combo will turn your character either to the left or to the right. Pressing the A button, holding it, and then releasing will activate a double slash. Be careful, if you hold this attack too long or release it too early, it will not be as effective. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at movement. After an attack, if you press left or right and press the B button, your character will side hop. This is great for repositioning or even avoiding small attacks. Pressing a direction and A after an attack will initiate a fade slash. While this is technically an attack, it comes out very slow and should be used more for positioning, as it can get you killed. By pressing X and A together following an attack, you will throw your shield forward into the monster using a move called Shield Thrust. This move is great as a quick follow-up or a setup for larger attacks. An important aspect of Chargeblade is charging your Phials. You might be asking, what are Phials? Well, up in the top left-hand corner underneath your stamina bar, you'll see 5 what look like bottles. As you attack with the sword and shield mode, those will begin to fill and begin to glow red. By holding guard and pressing A, you will store those Phials. This will come in handy later. Lastly, we have the Morph Slash. By pressing ZR, you will combine the sword and shield together to put it into Axe mode. In Axe mode, your standard combo puts you into a Rising Slash and an Overhead Slash. This combination can be looped indefinitely. By pressing A, you will go into the Elemental Discharge combo. With your Phials charged, this attack does extra elemental damage on top of the regular attack. Both of these combos can be combined for a devastating axe attack. While in Axe mode, if you press X and A together, you will initiate the final attack of the Elemental Discharge combo. However, if you hit ZR mid-swing, you will go into an Element Up Round Slash, transferring your Phials to your shield, which, if you look above at the UI, you will notice is now glowing red. This gives you better guard, as well as a few other benefits. Now, with the shield charged, the final hit of the Elemental Discharge combo turns into an Ultra Element Discharge. This attack unleashes all of your Phials at once, dealing a massive amount of damage. If your shield is charged, but you'd rather use an amped element discharge than the ultra element discharge, pull back on the thumbstick during the animation and press X. We're going to back up a bit to the shield thrust move from earlier. If you press X and A again after shield thrusting, you will shortcut into the ultra elemental discharge or the amped elemental discharge depending on whether or not your shield is charged. While on the topic of charging your shield, when in sword and shield mode, going into the elemental discharge and then cancelling it into an element up round slash will also charge your shield. With the addition of wirebugs in Monster Hunter Rise, we now have the ability to use wirebugs in some of our moves. For Chargeblade, that takes the form of Morphing Advance, where you throw your wirebug forward and pull yourself in the direction of your target, which can then be comboed into an element discharge, a standard sword attack, or a shortcut into an ultra element discharge or an amped element discharge. The second wirebug move that Chargeblade has is called Counter Peak Performance, where you slam your shield into the ground and absorb an attack, filling all 5 of your Phials. In addition to Wirebug Moves, Rise has introduced a concept called Switch Skills, where you can swap out standard moves for a weapon for other moves. While not technically a new move to the Chargeblade arsenal, the Condensed Element Slash does fall into this category. To perform it, simply press the button to charge your Phials, and then hold X. Holding it for too long or too short, again, will come out with a weaker attack. But if you do it correctly, hold it the correct amount of time, you can tell the timing by just watching the sword pull into the shield, and then discharging it, your sword will become charged as well, dealing a little bit of extra Phial damage whenever you hit something with your sword. The alternate move for this position would be the condensed spinning slash, where you would activate it using the same combination of charging your Phials and holding down, but instead of charging up your sword, the axe head of the charge blade will begin to spin. From here, if you hit something with your axe head, it will do more than just a single hit. It will continue to deal damage as it swings through the creature. Now, this is only active for a short amount of time. However, as you're hitting things with your standard attack, it will end up charging your Phials, which you can then discharge, also doing Phial damage on top of the extra spinning damage, which can lead to a very brutal way to quickly dish out precision damage on a monster that has maybe fallen over or is stationary. The third move in the switch skills category is called Counter Morph, and this attack replaces the standard morph from sword mode to axe mode, and ends up being a longer transition, however more of it is in a guarding stance. Finally, we have my absolute favorite move that Rise has introduced to the Charge Blade arsenal, which is called Axe Hopper. By pressing ZL, which is typically your Wirebug button, and A, you throw yourself skyward, giving you the option to throw off an element discharge, throw off an amped element discharge, throw off an axe attack, throw off a standard sword attack, or, my favorite, dropping onto the monster and using an ultra element discharge, unloading all of your Phials from the sky. It's amazing. One concept I want to briefly touch on is the idea of a guard point. Guard points are a more advanced Charge Blade technique, but once you've mastered the basics, this is your next step forward to mastering Charge Blade. Some moves have animations that a segment of them gives you a block, some of which include the spinning slash, the morph slash, and the fade slash. The reason guard points are important is it allows you to block stronger attacks, take less knockback from them, as well as taking less damage when you get hit while blocking. As you can see, Charge Blade has a lot of moving parts. Thankfully though, a lot of them end up being related, so if you can get a grasp on the basics, most of the time the moves are self-explanatory. Things such as, if you can go into an elemental discharge, you could probably charge your shield from it. The standard gameplay loop of charging your Phials, charging your shield, and then discharging it on the monster is hopefully going to become second nature. I highly suggest finding some monsters that are easy to read, maybe find some that you know the moveset really well, and try to get off some of those bigger hits with the elemental discharge. If you have any more questions about Charge Blade, or maybe I missed something, feel free to stop by my live stream, or leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. Peace.